The continuous spacetime collapse of the universe to the present. Principle. Driven by universal motion, the cosmos or universe is constantly evolving in each and every one of its points and elements. Furthermore, the spacetime reality collapses and is defined as the present, which is the only place where all the states of these elements are coordinated, consolidated, and can be measured and adjusted. Before and after the present, the states of physical elements and events can be assumed, probable, or predictable, but not truly existing. Therefore, through the spacetime collapse to the present, any element acquires the property of having an evolving and changing reality and location through time. Quantum collapse versus spacetime collapse to the present. Preamble, general concept of measurement. Within the philosophical framework of the unified model of cosmic levels, which postulates the continuous evolution of all cosmic elements and events at each level or scale, measurement is understood as follows. Measurement consists of the intersection, or temporal collapse, of the present instant with the continuous evolution of all states of a physical event throughout cosmic time. In more intuitive terms, time can be conceived metaphorically as a photographer who accompanies each physical event during its evolution and continuously takes a snapshot at t0. This measurement, or snapshot, represents the current state of the physical event at that particular instant. However, within this model, the state is not simply observed. It is mathematically determined and adjusted using all the relevant equations and parameters that govern the event, incorporating time itself as a fundamental parameter that regulates its evolution. Illustration. The illustration shows the two modes, visions, or interpretations of both the quantum model and the classical model of cosmic level unification. 1. The quantum model, which from my point of view is quite egocentric, because in it everything seems to revolve around and manifest itself around Homo sapiens, or the quantum physicist, who, as observer and maker of the cosmos, is responsible for the cosmos manifesting as a visible and tangible reality through their mere observation and ability to produce mathematical formulas. The illustration shows two examples of this. In one, we observe a runner being analyzed by a quantum physicist, using her snapshot as an example of wave collapse. The runner would initially be in superposition with the other runners, but upon reaching the quantum physicist's perspective, her wave function collapses, revealing the values of her physical states. The same occurs with a quantum observer using a telescope who discovers a galaxy. Upon observation, the galaxy's wave function collapses with the quantum physicist's observation, becoming real and giving us its state values, which the physicist measures with the telescope. Before this, however, this galaxy would have existed in a state of superposition alongside all the other galaxies in the sky. The quantum physicist's vision is what has made it real. 2. In the unification model, the runner is observed in the present as a consequence of the definition produced by the collapse of spacetime at that instant, giving us all the data of all bodily functions, movement, etc., that the runner has at that moment. It is not a wave function, but rather the sum of all the physical and biological functions that constitute the runner and that manifest themselves as they are at that instant of our observation. However, and unlike quantum mechanics, this model contemplates a continuous evolution of the particle, element, person, or galaxy through time until reaching the current state in the present moment in which it is measured. In other words, the runner has spent 30 years developing her body and muscles, exercising and running to prepare for the marathon, and so on. At this point in the race, the observer observes her and considers all her current states as a consequence and development of all her previous states. Similarly, in the case of the observer of the galaxy, this model considers that the galaxy has not been in superposition with others, but rather developing and evolving independently over billions of years. And when we reach the present moment of its observation and measurement, it shows us how it is currently, although we can intuit how much it has had to evolve over these millions of years of existence. Likewise, all the particles that we know may have existed for millions of years have also undergone evolution, transformation, changes in position, and so on, throughout time. Therefore, there is no superposition, and there are no undefined states in the past. Quantum collapse versus spacetime collapse. As represented in the illustration, the expression temporal evolution EV equals sum and coordination of physical mathematical functions in relation to spacetime, xt, indicates that the evolution of any cosmic event can be understood as the sum and functional composition of all the mathematical functions SF, xt, participating in and determining that event. Consequently, there is no superposition of alternative states within the event itself. Rather, there is continuous change and evolution, governed, coordinated, and temporally integrated by the parameter, t. The entire cosmos, and therefore every physical event or process, is subject to continuous transformation and evolution. Accordingly, at every instant of the present, t_0, a physical event possesses a state that is differentiated from its state at the preceding instant. Its measurable parameters must therefore likewise differ, even if only infinitesimally, from one moment to the next. Thus, within this model of unification of cosmic levels, it is not the wave function that collapses, rather, it is the present time of measurement, t0, that constitutes the temporal point at which the evolving cosmic event is resolved through the observations and mathematical adjustments applicable at that instant. The temporal parameter, which is intrinsically associated with, and constitutes a component of, the functions and measurements describing evolving physical events, is therefore the parameter through which the physical and mathematical functions of the universe are continuously resolved into a present state, t0. Reality, in this framework, is consequently understood as a succession of present states generated by the continuous interaction between evolving physical functions and the temporal parameter that governs their resolution. Each present instant represents a new and transient resolution of the physical system, and it is within this succession of continuously resolved states that ordinary physical reality, including our own daily experience, takes place. As a fundamental property of the cosmos, all cosmic elements are therefore considered to be in motion and in continuous evolution. Time is the parameter that guides, connects, and resolves the successive states resulting from this perpetual evolution. Accordingly, time does not merely serve as an external coordinate in which physical processes occur. Within this model, time participates directly in the resolution of the mathematical functions describing and governing physical evolution, producing, at every present instant, t0, a specific solution for each parameter that must be measured and considered. Before and after the present instant, t0, different solutions existed or will exist as a consequence of the continuous temporal evolution of the system. Only at the present instant, t0, however, does there exist a transient, defined, and measurable physical reality, determined by the combined action of the multiplicity of cosmic functions constituting each physical event. In this sense, measurement is not conceived as the selection of one state from a set of simultaneously existing possibilities. Rather, it is the temporal resolution of an evolving physical reality at the present instant, in which the continuous evolution of the system becomes mathematically defined and measurable. Thanks for your interest, friends.